Hi, my name is Cindy. Welcome to my channel. I have been a Shipt shopper in the Nashville Metro since 2015. If you are a Shipt customer, you're in the right place. If you're a Shipt shopper, stay tuned. This is great information, and hopefully it's information that you can share with your customers and might be a little bit insightful to you as well. If you find this information helpful, I hope that you'll go ahead and hit subscribe and give me a like, and please stay tuned to the end and let me know what you liked and didn't like in the comments, because that will give me great feedback for future videos for you. Okay, let's jump in. The purpose of this video is to help you to be the best customer that you can be and to get the most out of your Shipt delivery. Okay, here I want to tell you a little bit about how this video came about, and then we're going to jump right on in. A couple weeks ago, I asked shoppers in Nashville, what is one thing that you wish your customers knew? The direction that the answers went were things that they wish that you understood about our job. So I wanted to respect the fact that they gave me that feedback and give you some of that information, because I do think it's important information, and I love that they were willing to share it with us. They did know that I was making this video and that their answers would be shared, or might be shared depending on their answers. So here they are. Take them for what you will and do with them what you want. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 tips that your shoppers wish you knew, and I hope that they will give you good information and get the best out of your Shipt service. First thing, these are in no particular order. I'm just going to kind of go through the list. Keep your phone handy. Your shopper should communicate with you. They should let you know when you're on the way to, when they're either at or on their way to the store. They will contact you if they have questions about any items on your order, if they just need some clarification, or if they need to make a substitution. Hopefully they'll also give you a heads up that they're almost finished or they're heading to check out. That's kind of the point where you want to stop adding things to your order, okay? But if you do have a last minute add-on, that's your last call. Do it then, or don't do it. Do another delivery. Or if you know your shopper well and kind of their timing, try to catch them before. As long as you catch them before they process the order, should be okay. We'll talk more about that in another video. Ratings. When you get that little pop-up in your app, it looks like this. What you are rating is the service that your shopper provided to you that day, that delivery, not the store substitutions, not the store stock, not your Shipt app, not anything else. The only thing that 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars that you're providing is giving feedback on is your actual shopper. And those ratings do impact us and our ability to receive orders. Now, we'll do another video another day that gets more into that, because I could talk about that for an hour. I won't, I promise. But just know, we want you to rate us fairly. If I do a bad job or a meh job, I want you to give me a bad or a meh rating. But please don't give me a poor rating based on items that weren't available in the store. Most of us make every single effort to ensure that we fill that order 100% with everything that you requested. Okay, if you don't feel like that's the case, then that's where your rating may want to decline. But again, we'll do another video on ratings another day. I just want you to understand where those ratings are going and what they are actually measuring. Okay? Let's talk about porch drops and early deliveries. I'm going to make that kind of a combined thing. This will be number 3. If you want your delivery early, we need you to tell us in a text or put that in the notes on your delivery. Otherwise, what we're supposed to do is stay in that window of time that you requested your delivery, like say you said 2 to 3 p.m., but you actually need it like now, if you just put a note in your delivery notes, add it as a special request, or when your shopper reaches out, text them. It's better to go ahead and put it on the order so that we see it before we get to the store and text you. Does that make sense? And on that same note, if you might be tied up when your shopper is arriving, or even while they're shopping, it's okay to put a note about that too. Just say, hey, I may not answer if I don't go ahead and make substitutions. If I don't answer the door, or if I haven't responded to you, it's okay to leave items on the porch. Here's what's going to happen if you don't tell us it's okay and you don't answer the door. We wait about 10 minutes. We contact headquarters, and then generally they'll tell us to return the order back to the store. We cannot leave that delivery without your permission. Does that make sense? So what we don't want is for you to come home or come to the door or be looking for your order and it just simply not be there. But there are many, many reasons why we can't leave it out if you don't give us the okay to do that. All right. I know other delivery services do that, but that's not what we do, and I hope that that's not what you expect from your shopper. Okay, we'll talk about that again in another video. Boy, I'm seeing really how all of these things could turn into like an hour-long thing. Okay, number 4, meats, produce, substitution options. It is absolutely okay to leave notes on your order, to text extra information, to put notes on your actual items that you ordered, and let us know specifically what you want. Oh my goodness, do you eat avocados? Woo! There is such a range of ripeness, but y'all know avocados are like either perfect or not. And when they're perfect, they're ready to go. And then if you wait too long, they're not. So we don't know whether or not you're using those avocados today or next week. And typically we don't really ask you. Some shoppers do, some don't. We don't really ask you because we may not have an option of what we're getting. So sometimes once we see our selection of avocados, we might say, hey, they have some really ripe avocados and they have some really green avocados. So let us know what your preference is there. It's not obnoxious. It's not annoying. It helps us to do our job faster and more efficiently, and to ask you fewer questions. Less text, because we don't mind texting you. That's our job. That's what we do. But what we don't want is to text you so much that it feels like you could have gone to the store yourself. Does that make sense? So give us all of the information. Meats, on that same topic, sometimes they look a little different on your end than they do on our end. It looks like one package to us, where it might tell you a weight or something, a count or something like that. So it's helpful if the shopper especially is not familiar with your family, to know how much chicken you want. Do you want like 3 small pieces of chicken, or do you want 2 big pieces of chicken? Do you just need 1 steak? Because like sometimes it'll say approximately 1.75 pounds and show us a picture of 2 steaks, but then 1 steak when we get to the store is like over 1.5 pounds. And so then we're going to ask you, do you need 1 steak or 2 steaks? Because here are my options. And sometimes we can have that cut for you, especially at certain stores, and sometimes we can't. So it's very, very helpful to have that extra information. Even ground beef varies so much. Usually it's some stores are like right at 1 pound, and some stores vary from 1.3 to 1.6, and that's a big difference for some families. Some of you prefer that larger weight, and some of you prefer the smaller. So it's great information to add to your order. If there's an item that you're particularly selective about, and you know that sometimes the store doesn't have it, or even if you don't know anything about that, it's also helpful to put a substitution option. If this is unavailable, I like this one. Does that make sense? So lots of things that you can add on there for us in your notes. And number 5, this is the topic that we hate discussing, that we will not bring up unless you do, I hope. If we do, I'm sorry, I apologize on behalf of Shipt. Shipt does ask us not to bring up tips and discuss them. But let me just tell you, this is one of the things that people said. Please help them to understand that tips are very much appreciated. We do get paid a reasonable amount from Shipt for shopping your order, okay? It's a base pay and a percentage, and I'm not going to go over that because some metros are different than others, especially California and New York, because those are very, very specific markets, and they're very different than other markets. So just because of the layout and the stores and how items have to be delivered in those areas. So let's talk about them. Tips. Sometimes we're driving long distances. Sometimes orders are more complicated or heavier than others. Sometimes we're spending a lot of energy and time, more than you will ever know. Look, guys, you don't have to go to the store anymore. What is that worth to you? Okay, so consider all of those things when you are adding a tip for your shopper. And some people are of the opinion that you're already paying for the service, so you don't need to tip. Well, you're already paying for your food at a restaurant too. And I hope that you tip your waiter or waitress. So it's kind of the same thing. Tip based on the service you receive. Sometimes you're going to pop up that'll give you tip percentages. And you always have the option of adding a custom amount to your order for your shopper's tip. Just know that the amount that you tip is not always extremely important, but sometimes it is. There are orders that, like I said, are more challenging and just physically more demanding and heavier. If you're ordering a lot of drinks and sodas and we're carrying those up 3 flights of stairs to your apartment, that can get very taxing. And if your tips on orders like that are low or even moderate, we might not be so prone to shop for you because it might not be worth breaking our bodies and wearing ourselves out when we have a full day of shopping or a lot of other orders before or after yours, because it can be very physically draining when you're doing that hour after hour after hour. No matter what kind of physical shape your shopper's in, it can be tiring. That's not to say that one order is worth more of a tip than the other, but just consider all of those things, and consider, most especially, what you want to consider is the service level that your shopper provided when you're making a tip decision. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that, because I probably said something wrong and fumbled it about tips. But anyway, so if you found this information helpful, I hope that you'll hit that like button and subscribe. I would love to hear from you in the comments what kind of information and videos as a customer you would like to see from me. This is my first, or actually second, I think, video that I've done that was actually directed towards Shipt customers. So if you give me some feedback, then I'll know that this might be something you want to see. Let me know what you want to see. Do you want to hear more about ratings? Do you want to hear more about notes? Do you want to hear about store specials, Shipt specials, certain stores? I don't want to get too deep into store specials because I can't follow and keep up with 200 different stores that we serve, so it's just too much. But I can speak specifically to Nashville market stores and how to best get your money's worth out of your Shipt delivery. So maybe we'll talk about that, Nashville specific. But anyway, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for being a Shipt customer, and thanks for staying tuned to the end of this video, and let me know what feedback you have, and I'll see you guys again another time. All right, bye. I do not work work for headquarters, so this video has nothing to do with them and does not necessarily express their opinions. I just want to add that little disclaimer there. The purpose of this video is to help you to be the best customer that you can be and to get the most out of your shipped delivery, okay?